Hey everyone, sorry this video is coming out so late. I had some things in real life I had to take care of, but they are done now, so let's just get to it. To cut to the chase, because last time I made this video it was about 15 minutes long, I'm unsure if playing Persona 5 Royal is worth it. I mentioned before that I have played a game series like Persona 5 and Persona 5 Royal, and it's Mega Dimension V2, the first game I ever played on this channel actually, and V2R, in case those of you who watch my Persona 5 series, you aren't familiar with it. And with Mega Dimension V2 and V2R, the difference was mainly that V2R had VR scenes. Yes, there were some cosmetic changes, but I could really cover that in like the first episode. And also, it was a lot easier to go through V2R. The gameplay was a lot smoother. It seemed like they expected you to have played the original game, and then you're playing this one for the V2R scene. So basically, they weren't trying to make you play through a similar difficulty as the original game. It was kind of like a new game plus, and also kind of not. Kind of complicated to explain, but basically, the parts that I need to see were very isolated. For Royal, I don't feel like that's the case from what I've heard. And the things I've heard, number one, I think the gameplay is different. Not only different, but also revamped. So I imagine that's something people want me to see. Number two, the changes are in between the story. And unlike Mega Dimension, where I could just skip through the events and actually just skip the events entirely, Persona 5, you have to fast forward through them and pick choices for Joker, for whatever he's commenting on and things like that. And I've also been told that the differences are sprinkled in with the scenes. So I would have to realistically record the entire game, cut out the footage that is different, and then make that an episode. And what really caused my concern to raise is the view count on the ending of Persona 5. I asked a question in the community post, and people didn't seem to get why I was asking that. Guys, I have been doing YouTube for 3 years. I know how views normally go on a Let's Play. The most popular videos are the first episode, impactful moments in the middle, particularly those who have an interesting thumbnail or a title, or people recognize the moment in question, or the ending. But the ending normally didn't rise that fast and normally doesn't have that many views compared to the rest of the playthrough. Especially when Persona 5's ending wasn't like too spectacular. The many spectacular parts were sprinkled in the actual game. And yet, that was one of my most viewed videos of Persona 5. Turns out that I found out YouTube miscounted, so that was a relief. I think I lost a good 800 views and half of the likes because it was also a very high liked video at the time. But what I was worried about is what people were trying to come up with a reason for. The reason I asked people to tell me why they skipped till that episode was because I wanted to hear from the people who skipped. But many people were theorizing exactly what I was worried about. That one, people were trying to see if Persona 5 was over and what my next series would be because they weren't too interested in Persona 5. Two, they were only interested in the important moments. Those two things stood out to me, and it's like, okay, let's say that is the case. Then why would I want to try to play through Royal? I mean, yes, it's something I would like to play through, but let me give you guys an example for a game I was planning on doing. Breath of the Wild, Zelda Breath of the Wild. That is a game I have no knowledge on, except I know it's it's one of Nintendo's most popular games out there, especially for when it comes to single player games. It's also an exploration based game, and when I asked people to compare Xenoblade to that, people said Breath of the Wild definitely. And it's something that my friends Kuru5 and Grizzle have been saying I definitely gotta play it, it's amazing. So let me pose this question to you, those of you who know. Would you rather me play Persona 5 Royal and only come up with the interesting bits versus Zelda Breath of the Wild, something I have absolutely no knowledge of, and it's a completely new game to me? I'm finding it very hard to believe that people want me to play through the entire game and they're interested in the entire playthrough, or they only want me to react to certain moments. And if that is the case, I feel like it's just not worth it. I have to speak realistically. Many people didn't seem to be as interested in Persona 5, which was okay for Persona 5. But when it comes to playing a completely similar game, which takes time, especially if I cannot do what I did for Persona 5, which is like play the game normally, Royal would take a lot more editing and a lot more content to get out even one episode that could take time away from me doing a completely brand new series. And that is, so in other words, now I would be concerned about what would the view count be? How many comments would I get? Is it actually worth the time I would be putting in? Because I don't think people realize just how much time I have to do just to get the interesting bits of Royal, especially since I just finished playing Persona 5 for over a year. How many of you guys even have been playing a game for over a year? So that's basically why I'm trying to ask you guys this question. Do you think it would be feasible? Like, is it something easy for me to do? Or can you give me an idea on how hard you think it would be to get those moments without spoiling, of course? And I'll ask the admins if they could delete comments they think are saying too much. I mean, please don't say too much, because, you know, if you do, then there goes the entire reason I'd even play Royal to begin with. But I am willing to try to work with it, but honestly, it's almost like, should I do it? I want to know that it's worth it, you know, through one way or another, because if I feel like it's not, then I could also just, like I said, I'm interested in Breath of the Wild, and I was actually thinking about bringing that to my second channel, along with Fire Emblem and what I'm currently doing, Sakura Wars with Crew 5. See, when it comes to Sakura Wars, for example, it doesn't matter how many views that gets. Of course, I would love it if everybody enjoyed it, but that's something I'm just having fun playing, and it's a brand new experience, you know? Whereas Royal, it would be something I'd like to do just on my own time and just curious to see what the changes were. But versus the spin-off games that I've heard, you know, the spin-off games, I was like, okay, those are interesting, but I heard they haven't been brought to the US yet or something. I'm unsure, but that's why I'm asking this video, to express my concerns to you all, and for you all to say, do you really think that it is worth me playing through it and seeing the changes? Or are you just wanting to see certain reactions to things that I would see in there, and therefore I don't feel like it's, you know, it's really worth it? It's not the issue of playing Royal, it's the issue of recording and uploading it. That's the difference, because some people do that for a living, you know, with much less time. Not to say that I'm trying to, you know, say, oh, I want money, or no, but it takes time out of the games I would be playing otherwise. So if it's worth it, then okay. But if it's not, then I need to know, and we gotta come up with a different plan. So with that said, please post your thoughts down in the comments below and really think about it, okay? Because if it's not the case, like if you guys are telling me one thing and it turns out to be another thing, then I could actually get frustrated with the game, and you don't want that. So be honest with me, and who knows, I might still try considering it. Like, it might be a while later on. Maybe I'll upload episodes every now and then. I'm not sure, but just be honest with me, all right? If you saw a certain Sakura Wars episode, you know honesty is the best policy. Then I can make an accurate assessment on what I can do based on what you all tell me. And if you want to say, if you're interested in Breath of the Wild over Royal, then yeah, say that too, because I am definitely looking forward to bringing that to the second channel, which, you know, it really doesn't matter what channel it goes on. Well, some people think, oh, the second channel, but it's literally the same thing. You know, I'm just uploading it on a different channel. But if you would like to see Breath of the Wild as well, then please let me know if that is something you'd be interested in. But until then, post your thoughts down in the comments below, and I will see you all next time.